Okay, first things first, I gotta say that I don't think I've ever had as much fun running over zombies with my car in a game ever. Just saying. So today was the official release for State of Decay 2. By the time I upload this video, it will have been yesterday. It's Tuesday night. I'll post this up on Wednesday. So State of Decay 2 is the open world zombie game from Microsoft Studios and Undead Labs. I did pick up the Ultimate Edition, so I've been playing it for about 4 days or so. I've put about 15 hours into it, and I have to say that I've been enjoying the game so far, but not everybody else has been enjoying the game. So we're gonna take a look at State of Decay 2 and we're gonna discuss it a little bit. And we're gonna see, is the game enjoyable or is the game as bad as everybody's saying it is? I'm NTCertified and we're gonna hop into it right about now. Let's go. Alright guys, you know the drill. Before we dig into it, do not forget to click that subscribe button. Become a part of the certified club. Now, State of Decay 2. Okay, as the game begins, you have your choice of 2 players. You actually get to choose 2 players to start out of a crop of 6 players. Now, each character has a relation to one another, but what's more interesting are their actual traits, because each character has their own set of traits. Now, those traits could be a blessing in some circumstances, but they could really be a curse in another. I chose the odd couple, which included a middle-aged man who had strong fighting skills, and I picked a female who was witty and she was good at gardening. My idea was that I used a guy to fight and I used a woman for her smarts. The only cutscene was in the beginning of the game, so needless to say, you're not gonna see a lot of cutscenes throughout the game. The overall goal is to get rid of, the Blood Plague. It's a map full of zombie infestations and plague hearts, which is new to State of Decay 2. They're indicated on your map by these like red hazard markings, and so far I've only eliminated like 3 of them, but they're pretty tough because the zombies kind of hoard you from pretty much nowhere. I learned pretty early on that having friends is pretty much the only way that you're gonna survive in State of Decay 2. I started out with 4 people. My first 2 characters that I chose on my own, then there was a soldier and a medic that came shortly thereafter. Each character is completely different, and they have their own little quirks about them. My medic, for instance, enjoyed my other female character, but she got into an argument with my male character. And it's one of those things that you're gonna have to continuously manage within the game, so be ready for that. You have the option of beginning the game in 3 different areas. I chose the foothills. Not knowing what the differences were, I just thought it sounded cool. So I found the location to be, it was kind of nice. Especially with me being a beginner. I didn't play State of Decay 1. I played it for maybe 5 minutes and then I put it down. So this was all brand new to me. There were like towns in the area, scattered throughout the map, but everything is in a short driving distance. Actually, in the very beginning, I actually walked everything, and I learned real quick that driving is the best way to do pretty much anything in State of Decay. You're gonna have to scavenge for materials and food, meds, and fuel. And at the beginning, it's like super overwhelming. Like, I can't tell you how many times or how long my people were frustrated because we didn't have items at our base. And that's kind of why it's important to make friends and kind of build your community throughout your game. So you need to rotate characters when you scavenge because everyone gets tired, and some characters are great at scavenging and some just leave a whole lot to be desired. As you scavenge and fight zombies, your stats are going to increase, and I turned a fairly weak female character into a very, very strong shooter, a strong fighter, and a mechanical genius practically. Like, she's amazing right now. But just when I feel like I've gotten ahead in the game, something else will deplete and I'm kind of like back to square one. Not to mention the zombies are attacking the base all the time. Then you have hordes walking around, and you have infestations blocking the progress. But the hordes are light, I must say. Like, there's never more than about 6 zombies at a time. Now, infestations can be anywhere between 10 and 15 zombies, but they are usually in physical places, like at a house or like at a building. The upgrade system feels pretty rewarding, in my opinion. I kind of like seeing my characters grow as I use them in the game because it kind of brings everything full circle for me. I also enjoy the options to upgrade my base using like the scavenger items that I've found, and there's a lot of options to choose from, but the most important things that you want to choose are like the necessities: electricity, water, fuel, storage, stuff like that. Right now I have like a garden to produce food, and you can also produce meds that way. I have a generator for electricity. What else? I set an outpost on a farm that's giving me water. Also chose a restaurant as an outpost, and that's giving me food. So my people are being fed to the point where we aren't losing food on a daily basis. We're actually gaining food every day. I still need to scavenge for fuel, materials, and meds about every 4 days in game time, which is not that bad. And then you can add other items like shooting ranges and gems and watchtower, things like that. The weapons in the game are decent. There's a bunch of different types of weapons. You have bladed weapons, you have blunt weapons, and of course you have guns. It's best to use bladed weapons or blunt weapons when you're going into a building to kill zombies, and your gun should really be your last resort unless you have a suppressor. If you have a suppressor, then you can go in and shoot zombies at your own free will. It's not the easiest to find bullets though. Plus, when you have a suppressor on your gun, it kind of wears your gun down quicker with automatic guns. If you have something like a revolver, they never break, so you can continue to use those, but you can't put a suppressor on a revolver. So it's a give or take situation. How you go about it is pretty much up to you. That's why this game has so much potential, and I prefer to go in with blades and max out my fighting skills. And also, which I forgot to add, is that you can read books to build up your stats. You don't have to go out and fight zombies to build your stats. You can teach yourself by picking up books when you go out to scavenge and stuff like that. You get by on something called influence, and you use that influence to buy things like outposts, and you even use it to trade. That's your form of currency in State of Decay 2. It's not the easiest thing to come by, especially when you're trying to take over all the outposts so that you make sure your people are taken care of. But if you play it smart, you can rack up a lot, especially with doing jobs and trading with other groups. The larger outposts are like 2,000 influence, and you typically gain between 10 and 50 influence for your typical actions and your typical missions. So it's well worth it to make smart decisions with your influence. Okay, so zombies are aplenty in the, well, kind of. Okay, you have four types of zombies. You have your normal zombie, you have your feral, which is like a beefed up version of a regular zombie, and he runs and he chases you and he's kind of like a savage. And then you have your bloater, which is, you know, the typical zombie in every zombie game that explodes when you touch them. And then you have the juggernaut. Now, the juggernaut is this big, huge zombie with a huge belly. He comes stomping, and it takes a lot to kill him, and you can't even drive through him. It's just one of those zombies that's like built like a tank, and you're not gonna go through him. Now, what I meant by the zombies are plenty, I meant in variety. You'll never see the same zombie twice in the same area. Most of them look different, which is kind of saying a lot, you know? Now, when it comes to the zombies, don't go running into a horde like Rambo. It's not gonna work out well for you. If your character dies in State of Decay 2, they are gone for good, which is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. It makes you really think about the approach you take, and I appreciate that aspect of the game. You get one shot, and you better make that one shot count. If you get bit enough by these zombies, you will contract the plague. You have a few hours in real time, I think it's about 3 hours or so, to create a cure, well, find the cure, create the cure, and heal your characters. If you fail, your character can become a zombie and will be gone forever. So all that stuff that you earn and building up your characters can be gone in the snap of a finger. My plan is to just run over all my zombies with a car. And for the part that everybody's been waiting for, what makes State of Decay just a mediocre title for most people? Well, most people are gonna say that it's online play. And that's mainly because things disappear and things glitch in the game, and I've seen that stuff firsthand by playing it. Hopefully they can fix it with a nice patch, because you know it is day one. I played online and I almost died, so I pulled out of online real quick because I did not want to lose my person. Now, I noticed the frame rate changed, and I noticed a lot of glitches. I was able to do what I set out to do, although I've watched other people's gameplay and they would get clipped in doorways, and you really can't have those issues because you only get one chance, you know? If you get pulled out of a car by a feral, you can pretty much consider yourself dead if you don't have the strength to fight. Plus your stamina runs, and let's say you have a feral and a couple other zombies, it can get really, really sticky. And let's not forget, there's no pause in the game. Absolutely no pause in the game, which makes things even worse, especially when you have those permadeath issues. But even going to the Xbox home screen doesn't pause the game. It's like the zombies are working overtime when you aren't playing, and that sucks. Luckily, there's a fix for that. You can turn the game offline in single player. So if you turn off multiplayer, you can actually go and pause the game, and that'll stop everything, which is something that I recommend for anybody who doesn't know this already. Luckily, I got this tip from somebody on Twitch the other day. In my personal opinion, I didn't plan to do a lot of online, so a lot of these issues don't really exist for me, but I do wish that there was a way to customize characters. But as in a zombie apocalypse, you get what you get, and that's kind of the premise of State of Decay 2. They give you something and you make the most of it, which is pretty darn realistic if I have to say so myself. So overall, State of Decay 2 has a foundation to be an amazing game, but the glitches really bring it down. With the 4-player co-op being a main selling point for a lot of people, it almost makes the game unplayable. Not saying that you can't get what you need to get done, but for a lot of people, it's really making them look down on the game as a whole. For me, it works because I plan on going all of it alone for the most part. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm about 15 hours into it, and I'm looking forward to putting a lot more into it. I am enjoying the game, and I'm enjoying all the time I put into it, because you just can't play for a few minutes and put it down. If you're gonna play State of Decay, you're gonna play for a few hours, and that's just what it takes to make it in the game. The character progression and the ability to choose your own path is what really sucks me in as a gamer. It makes me feel like I'm in control, and that's something that a lot of games with deep stories, which I also like, can't provide me with. You know, things are so linear in those types of games, and this gives me that sandbox feel that I can just do what I want and take whatever approach that I want in the game, and I like that. In the end, I have to say that I am satisfied with my purchase, and at $30, you really can't beat that experience. And let's face it, when it comes to an online game or a dedicated online game, what new release doesn't have bugs when it first releases? I mean, let's be honest. I know most recently when I did the what was it, the beta for like Dragon Ball Z Fighters, and nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. So despite the glitches and despite the bugs, I recommend State of Decay to all of the Xbox faithful out there, and even PC players that just want something a little bit different from what's already out there, because we all know zombie games are aplenty out there. You have all types of Resident Evils, you have your Dead Risings, you have your Dying Lights, and a bunch of new games that are coming out also. But State of Decay is, it has the makings of something amazing, and if they continue to build on that, I think they can make the perfect game eventually. But I enjoyed it a lot. So in conclusion, this is NTCertified. Let me know what you think about State of Decay 2 in the comments below. Do you plan on picking it up? Have you played it yet? Have you watched it yet? And don't give me all the negative stuff. I mean, if you actually took a chance on it and you've put some time into it, let me know how you really feel about the game in the comments below, because I really appreciate it. So do not forget to like, comment, and as always, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the Certified Club. I appreciate you guys. We are on the road to 4K, slowly but surely. We're getting there. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Peace.